Tell us about yourself, what your job looks like at Canvas, and what makes you really good at it.
I'm a design manager at Canvas. Design management at Canvas is slightly unconventional. I don't manage designers, I manage large scale design projects, and in the process, help designers do their best job. My work usually at Canvas will be equal parts clients and equal part designers or in house designers. Now, and then it translates to a lot of problem solving, a lot of people and expectations management. Now, being able to work with some of the largest fintech players and banking players in the country, it brings in their fair share of interesting problems to solve every day. But what it also brings in is some challenges in terms of the regulations and the compliances that we have to follow, which makes it quite fun to work in that domain, right? Apart from this, I work closely with the editorial team at Canvas and also have been very instrumental in sending out a design weekly newsletter that is Design Tech Weekly, which is being sent out to almost 8K subscribers every week. And on that note, if you have not subscribed to it, you should.
Abin, tell us about design management at Canvas.
Design management as a practice is rooted in discipline. There is a lot of context switching that happens on a daily basis, even with the number of projects that you're dealing with or the people that those requirements came into you, right? As a design manager, you're required to have certain level of organization, certain level of meticulous tracking and planning to handle all of this. At any point in time, you should be aware of who in the team is doing what, who can pick up some task, like who has the bandwidth, let's say, and who can be assigned a new task in the near future. So all of this, you need to have a bird's eye view of the entire team who's working on what and the details, so forth, right? And I also feel I'm a meticulous person by nature, so design management as a practice flows in very naturally for me. So it doesn't feel quite different from what I am as a person, but as an extension of what I do.
At Canvas, you're famous for being the calm and composed one. How do you do it?
I'd say there's a quote which goes, just because someone carries it well doesn't mean it isn't heavy. I'd say I also have my fair share of days which are problematic, but I feel the solution to that is just keep at it, right? Just keep at it and things will get better. Being calm in my line of work, I would say, is a prerequisite, is a non negotiable. Having a proper plan of action and prioritizing things helps massively. You can use any of those tools, a Kanban board, an Excel sheet, a good old paper, right? Just jot those tasks down, which will kind of help you get it all out of your head, right? Things like it will reduce a lot of your noise in your head and get you clarity to work with stuff. All of this might look like it's very effortless, right? But I'd say it requires a lot of practice, a lot of homework. I remember in my initial few years when I was at Canvas, I had sessions with Remankan and on things like how to present while you are like demoing screens and stuff. From smallest of things like what would be an optimal speed for you to like switch tabs so that it is not very jarring to the viewer, to things like how to take notes while you're on call, right? Because you're screen sharing, of course, and all of this requires a lot of details that comes your way. So you have to keep note of it while you present. So these are stuff that we have sat in, we have discussed, and now it feels effortless. But again, as I said, it requires a lot of homework.
You came from a very different background, and you're obviously killing it. Talk to us about how you got into Canvas and what your approach was with regards to growing in a new discipline, learning a new domain, and mastering it.
So I started my career in engineering and then switched over to design. And it's been 5 years here at Canvas. My initial few years, the learning curve was very steep. And I mean, I would say it was easy to drop the ball at that stage because it all felt very daunting. And that is exactly where Canvas as a team was helpful in helping me chug along like one day at a time, I would say. For anything design, I could go to Arjun and he would see through it that I understand the basics of it. For, I mean, initial projects that I handled was with Alad and Depro. So most of my management kind of skills I got to imbibe from them. And there was Robin, of course, for anything technical. I could have gone to him, and I still go to him. Now, every year when I'm told that I'm finding newer avenues of growth, it is a very humbling experience and also like a great motivator for me to keep going ahead. I'd say when I started off my year one, it was again, it was a year of Corona as well. So it was not at all helping. It was solitary confinement, I would say, for almost 9 months for me. But even during that time, I remember one of my first tasks that I was assigned was to build a prototype. And this was Invision days, mind you, not even Figma. And it was for an insurance product. And I was like getting those linked up. And it seems very silly now, but when I look back at it, I feel that helped me even when those tasks, right? At the end of it, I could figure out some inconsistencies. I could figure out how the flow was. More importantly, I could also kind of figure out how we can make the experience better. Many such learnings have compounded over the years, and now that we have 5x the size of the team that we started off with, those learnings continue to serve me well.
You've spoken a lot about your role at Canvas. How do you feel about Canvas as an organization? As the place that you work at, but also talk to us about your dynamic with your teammates and your colleagues and how that affects your performance at work.
Despite different levels of experiences at Canvas, we're not rigid in that structure of hierarchy that we have. Titles and designations don't color the type of design decisions we make. We work together internally, relying on logic and sound business understanding to come up with the best design solution out there. Now, what this ensures for the clients is that whatever they're getting is the best out there. And again, it helps me do my work better. Since we're a predominantly remote team, we don't get to make rangolis fight or have office politics. But jokes aside, I feel empathy is an important part of my dynamics with my colleagues. A word of support on a difficult day would mean a lot to a person, right? And spending like to with a person who you are spending most of your time with in a day, you owe them that much, right? Um, I would say, like in my experience, there have been instances where I've been visibly packed, and even without me reaching for help, I've had people get to me, right? And I have to bring in Harleen here. We've been working for over 3 years now, and when there is a situation when there is things going through the roof, right, she'll just pitch in and take that load off of me, right? So that's the dynamic that we share internally, and I would say that is a dynamic that we have even with the design team as well, right? So it's a dream team, I guess. I mean, rightfully so, because we ensure that there is a good culture fit while we hire. um Shameless plug, there are opportunities open, so you should check AngelList.
Where do you think the design industry is going? And talk to me about what you feel like Canvas's contribution is to nurturing it.
As a lean team, we focus on quality and efficiency. A main differentiator for us here at Canvas would be the fact that we have long-standing relationships with our clients, in some instances up to 7 to 8 years. Now, what this ensures is that while we mutually respect each other's as client and a design agency, we also respect each other's domains of knowledge and understanding. As an industry, product design is growing every day. Collectively, there's a lot we can do. We at Canvas strive to have conversations that are more evolved than, let's say, costs and timelines. We aspire to drive change, not just in the products we work on, but in the processes that it takes to design and build them as well.